Are there any discussions about giving any relief to small businesses?
They're not going to need it.
Okay.
They're going to make so much money.
Are these tariffs?
If you build your product here. Remember, there are no tariffs if you build your product here. It's very easy.
I just saw a video of a Trumper on here. You've probably seen it. And he's basically like, I voted for Trump. These tariffs are killing me as a small business owner. I need some help. Some Democrats in the comments are trolling him, of course. And someone commented like, I love this for you. And the Trumper replied via video. And he was like, oh, you love this for me, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck did you expect? We told you this and we got called elitist. We told you the impact tariffs have on the economy and you were like, you guys think you're so smart? This is basic knowledge. So the guy makes the video back and he's like, I knew Trump was gonna tariff. I thought it would push people to build in the USA. Everything's more expensive in the United States. That's why we get things internationally. And as a small business owner, I'm surprised you don't know that. You didn't think this would start a trade war, huh? Like last time? And last time was significantly less than all the tariffs he's doing this time. Like, you don't get to play victim, okay? You were warned, you ignored it. Now you're paying the consequences for voting without knowing how things work.
What Trump supporters do not understand is that there will not be a point of change. There will not be a point where everything suddenly makes sense or is suddenly worth it. There will not be a point where the pain that you endured, the hardship, the anxieties, the frustrations, the schisms, all of that suddenly becomes worth it because Trump reveals a master plan at hand. Because there is no master plan. He is operating on an extremely short-term basis. He is operating, in a sense, with a lack of self-discipline that allows for him to plan things years in advance. He is very much operating on a short-term basis because that is what he's been doing from the very beginning. There isn't going to be a period where this all becomes worth it or where suddenly things get better because this is a politician who built a campaign and platform over people being angry and discontent. This is a politician who built a campaign over complaining about other people. And now that he has almost all the power in the world, has he stopped complaining? No, he continues to complain, not just about other people, but now the results of his own actions, the results of the actions of his own people, the results of the actions of his own directives. Because I see these Trump supporters, and they have rationalized everything up and down. They have rationalized these tariffs that are even bad for them directly by saying that this pain will be necessary for the United States. They have rationalized mass deportations, even of U.S. citizens, as being somehow good for the United States. And when will they ever realize that this is just a rich man who is making his rich friends richer? When will they ever realize that there is not a point where this guy who has complained for almost a decade over everything that happens in the United States, that he will suddenly stop and change? No, it won't get better. This man won't change. His whole thing is about being discontent with the world, and he's going to keep doing that.
Somebody needs to do a study about these small businesses that are crying, yet readily voted for Trump. Oh boy, behind me is just crying in two separate videos. One saying, oh, I need help. And the other one, a lady said, I love this for you. And he's like, why? Why would you say this? Why do you love it for me? You need help. He's actually on here whining about the consequences of his own vote. The SAVE Act just passed, I want to say the House, not the Senate, where married women would have trouble voting because your legal name doesn't match what's on your birth certificate. Women voted for this en masse, and your rights are slowly being taken away from you. And yet they're crying about it when you knew exactly what you were going to get. A local school system here where I live, a very small school system, lost $14 million. They voted en masse and at higher levels for Trump this time around than they did the last time around. That school system, $14 million? Jobs are going to be lost. Like, there are consequences for these votes. And watching these people bitch and moan as if they did not know what was going to happen. Again, racism is incredibly expensive.
Honest and fair question. What did you expect? What did you expect making a TikTok saying that you voted for Trump and now because of the tariffs, your business is going to go out of business and you're asking for people on TikTok to help you? I think what's sad for me is it wasn't the fact that he is a misogynistic, sexist, rapist who really has it out for women. That wasn't enough. It wasn't that he's racist and has spewed racist hate, Latino hate, African American hate, none of that mattered. Like, it didn't matter to you until your pocketbook, your bottom line was affected. So again, what did you expect? I mean, it was pretty brave of you to admit that and to come on and make a TikTok like that, but did you really expect for everyone on TikTok to be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, here's a Cash App, here's some advice? No, you fucked around and now you're finding out. And it's not just that you voted for somebody and now your business is hurt, it's that you didn't fucking care until your business was hurt. That's the fucking issue. I don't feel sorry for you one bit.
I'm gonna say the meanest thing I could possibly say to these Trump voters posting self-pity videos because they're suffering due to his policies. Now, I don't do personal attacks, so I'm just gonna tell you the truth, because sometimes the truth hurts. You don't get to complain. You definitely don't get to complain about the lack of leadership or ideas coming from Democrats, because we didn't do this to us. You did this to us. If you and I are driving down the interstate together and you reach over and grab the wheel, and you steer us into a 200-foot deep ravine full of lava and sharks because you think big interstate is corrupt and you thought it would be funny to shake things up, when I scream at you as lava sharks eat our legs, you don't get to be mad at me for being mad at you, because it was my idea to stay on the interstate, and it was your idea that ruined everything for both of us. You don't get to ask what Democrats would do differently with the economy. You don't get to ask what Democrats are doing to help us right now. Those are 2024 questions, but we're in 2025 consequences. This era of the United States right now, this is about the president you elected, the cabinet secretaries your Senate confirmed, the cowering Republicans you elected to obey him in Congress, and all of the very real consequences resulting. We told you these things were going to happen and we gave you lots of warnings, but you grabbed the wheel anyway. If you want to know what Democrats would do differently, look at the track record going back to the Great Depression. Economic growth, job growth, wage growth, retirement plan growth, all of these things have been better under Democratic leadership than Republican. If you like these things, you vote for Democrats because it's what Democrats do. I don't care if you like the Democratic candidate. I don't even care if you understand how the policies work. And I'm not going to ask you if you believe me, because every chart and every graph that matters at the highest level for the middle class proves me right over the past 100 years. I'm only going to ask you that over the next year and a half, you come to grips with this fact so you don't make the same mistake again.
Today marks the end of the de minimis tariff exemption by the Trump administration. Basically, for the last century, low-value goods have been able to be imported into the U.S. with no tariffs whatsoever. I have seen in the news that this will impact you as a consumer if you're buying from Shein or Temu, but it is actually so much more than that. If anything has China as the country of origin, it is going to get tariffed at a minimum of 145%. If you live in America starting today, you're going to start to see these duties added into your carts at your favorite stores. We're a small business. We're totally impacted by this. We are currently in the process of setting this up on our site. We're a team of two. Definitely is a lot of work, but Triangle has laid it out really nicely. Now that the Trump administration has gotten rid of the de minimis exemption, you're paying $175 in fees. This does not go to Triangle. It does not go to the business. This is going directly to customs. The media is definitely focusing on how this impacts fast fashion brands and just kind of like pushing to the side how this is impacting literally every small and medium-sized business. Honestly, every single business that I love to support, that I follow, is significantly impacted by these tariffs, but also the American consumer. Like, unfortunately, you are the ones that are having to pay these astronomical fees